Quick video opportunity here. So I've been gone for about the last 6 months, and even though I had my wife start my Jeep once a month, take it up to operating temperature each time, still wasn't quite enough apparently for the old factory thermostat, and she gave out. Was driving it, check engine light came on, got a P0128 code, which pretty much points at your thermostat there. What you see here, new thermostat, it's only about 19 bucks, picked it up at AutoZone, Duralast, whatever, and picked up some Dexcool 50-50 mix, pre-diluted antifreeze. So for 2013 and the newer Jeeps, at least for the JKs that I can remember, takes what you call OAT antifreeze, and that stands for Organic Additive Technology. There's also HOAT, or I think it's, what is it, Hybrid Organic Additive Technology. So check your years. I think it's 2012 and older. They need the HOAT, and the 2013 and newers use the OAT, which Dexcool's a GM brand, but this stuff works in your 3.6 liter. I know it works in my 2013 Rubicon here, and I tested theory just to see. Basically, when I changed my radiator coolant about a year ago, I mixed what was in the radiator from the factory, or whoever changed it before me, with the Dexcool, and as you can see, it's looking fine. I guess apparently if you mix the technologies of the antifreeze, it'll gel, and which is bad juju for your motor, obviously. So pretty simple thing to change your thermostat out. All you got to do, pop your engine cover off, and then you have to remove your air intake. And the way you do that is there is a 8mm hose clamp on the air box. Jeez, can't talk. Same thing, hose clamp on the throttle body. You have two 10mm bolts, 6-point bolts right here, and one connector on the bottom of the intake tube itself goes your inlet, air inlet temperature sensor. So plug it from the bottom, and you can pull your entire intake out. She's sitting right there. And from there, it's a good idea to have a jug like this. This is just a cooking oil jug. If you can find a water jug that's skinny, any type of jug, it needs to be skinny. This one holds about a quarter gallon. I think the whole thing, what I lost, about 1/3 of a gallon, so it'll hold most of it. You're going to spill some regardless, so it's going to get on your pulleys a little bit. It's going to get on your belts a little bit, unless you take trash bags and put it over it or something. So what I did, I went to Harbor Freight, picked up like a free tarp, basically, when you buy something, and just laid a puppy pad down. It's a little overkill, but sucks it up nicely. Keep your garage floor nice and clean. So once the intake's removed, just tuck your connector out of the way, like I said, and then you take your jug, put it down underneath here. With the other hand, get some channel locks, pinch this clamp. As soon as I pinched the clamp, the coolant started running into the jug. So you can collect as much as you can in the jug, and then once that's done, pinch it fully compressed and slide it back off the hose. Pop your upper radiator hose off the thermostat housing, and a lot more coolant's going to come out. And since my thermostat is stuck partially open, a lot more drained out of it just sitting like that. Once that was done, there's 2 bolts, one on the top of the thermostat housing, one on the bottom. Cracked those, and then it was stuck to the block, so I just put my receptacle below it, wiggled her back, and then more coolant fell out. And then one thing to watch out for once you remove the housing, like I did on mine, the gasket here stuck completely to the block. So all I did was peel it off the block and stuck it back on this old thermostat. So not a big deal. You need to remove that one before you put your new one on. So put a new thermostat housing in place, finger tightened both the bolts down, cracked open the bleeder screw a little bit, and then I fully tightened the 2 mounting bolts down, reconnected the radiator hose at the bottom, disconnected at the radiator, and then I filled this radiator hose with coolant until you begin to see some coolant flow out of the bleeder screw. Tighten that back down, put your upper hose back on, put the clamp back on, and from there I've been adding coolant slowly to the radiator, and what you'll see is you're going to add it, and it's going to slowly bleed back down as the coolant flows back through the upper radiator hose and fills it back up. From there, like what I'm going to do next is take some brake clean, spray it all over my pulleys and belts down here, hopefully get all the antifreeze off so they don't squeal. Then I'm going to reinstall the air intake, Hook up my connector. I'm going to fire up the Jeep, leaving the radiator cap off, and let it run and get up to temperature. You're going to see the antifreeze is going to rise slowly in the radiator. It might overflow a little bit. That's okay. And once it gets up to temperature and that new thermostat opens, the coolant's going to rapidly drop. So let it run for a little bit, and you might see air bubbles bleeding out of the system. That's what you want. So once it stabilizes, you know, if it's too low, add some more coolant. If it stabilizes out, you're done. And that's pretty much it. So real easy to change it. Takes maybe 20-30 minutes to change out your thermostat. It's not hard at all. If you happen to do like a drain and flush of your coolant system, I recommend you just go ahead and replace the thermostat then. Why make a mess twice? Kind of kicking myself in the butt. I should have did that in the first place. But yeah, that's it. You got any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will get back with you. Thanks for watching.